Beardsley. Ooh, and he knows how to grind a good coffee bean. My co-host, Daniel Hayes.
Dude, how are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Also very well, thank you for asking. Why is that funny?
It's because you pulled a certain funny facial expression that just made me laugh.
It's just how my face looks. Cheers for that, dude. I never take the piss out of your face.
Yes, you do. Every single day.
Every day. I love it. Dude, what's been happening in the music world this week?
You told me some big news about Linkin Park.
Yeah, they've got a new singer.
What's her name?
Emily Armstrong.
You showed me a clip of her, and I was very impressed with her vocal ability, actually.
Yeah, so I was quite impressed at first, especially with like a screamy stuff. But then I went back and watched Linkin Park from a few years, well, obviously quite a few years back. And I just want more Chester.
Yeah, but
let's resurrect. Why can't we resurrect?
Yeah, but you can't compare Chester to anyone else. He was just one of a kind, wasn't he? And I think maybe that's why they've gone with a completely different kind of singer, a female singer for one. She's got a different kind of timbre, but she can do that grittiness, can't she?
Yeah, she's got a great, gritty, screamy kind of voice. But you know what? I'd rather it didn't exist at all, I think. That's my controversial view.
Well, the controversy is the
fact she's like a Scientologist.
Scientology. But she was born into it, wasn't
allegedly.
she?
Let's just put allegedly in there.
Let's not go into that kind of subject on this channel.
We don't want to get sued by the estate of Ron L. Hubbard.
Indeed. We don't want Tom Cruise coming after us.
Oh my God, can you imagine? Even though he's old, we've got no chance against Tom Cruise.
Did you see the closing ceremony of the Olympics? It was outrageous.
You did tell me about it.
Yeah, he descended from the roof of the, whatever it's called, the arena.
Arena, yeah.
And then he hopped on a motorbike, then a plane, and oh God, it was, yeah.
The last person you want after you is Tom Cruise.
It was a cheese fest, if I'm honest. It was a supreme cheese fest.
Oh God, he'd do some damage, wouldn't he? I bet he carries as well. I bet he's got a knife or something on him.
Speculation.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
I don't think he needs weapons.
Anyway, should we just stop talking about Tom Cruise and get a bit scared he might just burst through that window?
He's there waiting for you.
What else are we talking about this week, dude? Oh, you've had a gig.
Yeah, I've just had it. I literally had a gig.
Today.
I had a gig today. We won't paint the timeline with dates and things like that, but yeah, I had a gig today.
How was it?
You know what? We played well and we had fun. We had a good laugh.
What band was this, sorry? What band?
The Danny Beardsley Trio.
Oh, the Danny Beardsley Trio.
Yes.
Yeah. Who's in that? Who's the main person?
Well, the rhythm section, because they held everything together, Dan. No, we had a good laugh. We had a good laugh on stage, but it was it was an outdoor event at this fun fun day.
Yeah.
Which is really nice because Kiddo likes to come along and watch the show, so it's a good opportunity for her to come, but she was getting drowned in the rain.
Oh my God.
The weather was horrendous.
Was it hammering it down?
Yeah, and all our pedal boards and my in-ear system was getting wet through. It to keep edging away from the front of the stage.
It doesn't sound the safest, Danny.
No.
Were you at risk of electrocution?
Very much so. It was very risky.
I love it. I'm sorry to laugh, but I love it.
One of the lads went off for a piece of plastic sheeting to wrap up the power supply on the front of the stage, but it was already doused in water, so it just kind of encased it in moisture.
Yeah, it doesn't sound great.
And then Ben's one of his pedals was blinking at him, so he was like, "What's going on here?" But we had a lot of fun.
These things are sent to challenges, aren't they?
Yeah.
Did you perform well?
I think so.
That's what matters, isn't it?
Yeah. Didn't make any incredible mistakes.
No?
Blunders? Is that a good word?
Blunder's a great word. I love the word blunder.
No blunders.
No blunders.
Which is good. What have you been up to?
I've not been up to much. I've been listening to some good music, though, of course.
Tell me more.
Well, I thought The Cure I know you don't like them. The Cure have got an album out, in November, a new album.
Another one.
So I listened to Disintegration, which is a great 80s classic. And then I've been listening to Red Sparrows, which is probably one of my favourite bands.
I like Red Sparrows.
Have you listened to a lot of Red Sparrows?
No, I can't remember which album it was you showed me. Maybe we'll patch in and
it's
a really good album that you told me about, actually.
There's a few. I mean, there's The Soundless Dawn, and then there's Every Red Heart Shines Towards the Red Sun. They're both great. In fact, everything they've released is great. So it's just great, lovely, beautifully layered post-rock.
Post-rock again?
Post-rock, my favourite kind of rock.
Can you see the theme, listeners? Can you see the theme?
At least it's not blues rock.
Yeah. It's there again.
So who have we got on the show this week?
Dan, I was going to tell you what I've been listening to.
Sorry. Oh, carry on then.
But we've already mentioned this band anyway. So
Who is it?
I've continued listening to The Deer Hunter.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and I've finished the 5 acts.
Oh, the 5 albums.
Yeah, so I think the last 3 albums, Life and Death is the 3rd album.
Okay.
Which is brilliant. Hymns with the Devil in Confessional.
Oh, brill.
It's an amazing album, that is.
Is that your favourite?
Probably.
Act 5?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Indeed.
I'll give it a full listen then. I've only listened to a couple of songs of it. Oh,
Yeah.
Did we listen to the whole thing in the car? Can't remember.
Yeah,
Was that
but
the
yeah,
one?
it's one of them albums that you just got to keep going back and listening to because there's so many hooks and it's not like conventional kind of verse, chorus. So it takes a bit more time to just kind of get it into your system.
Okay.
But it's well worthwhile.
Oh, bro. I'll give that a listen then. Who have we got on the podcast this week?
Danny Dela Cruz.
Danny Dela Cruz. What a legend. Guitarist galore.
Oh, he's brilliant.
Singer as well, isn't he?
Yeah. He's started a new band called Thrxnes.
With an
He's
X.
showing off with an X. Yeah.
Thrones with an X. Who knows whereabouts that is in the name?
I don't know. Yeah.
I imagine in the middle.
Yeah. It replaces the O, I believe.
I think you're correct.
Too many vowels. Ditch that vowel. throw
Stick
in
an X in there.
It's really great to hear him showcasing his vocal ability.
Yeah.
It's really, really great. And the songs that they've released so far I've really enjoyed. So check them out on all the streaming sites. So they've got 3 singles out so far. Atom Bomb, Circles, and the latest is Ammunition.
Yeah, it sounds banging as well. Just had a quick listen to that.
Really powerful, modern production, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very modern.
Yeah, some killer guitar solos. There's 2 awesome guitar players in that band.
Yeah.
Not just 1.
2.
2. In
Wow.
fact, there's 3 because the bass player plays guitar as well. But the 2 guitarists I'm talking about is Dan Stevens and Danny Dela Cruz, and they work so well together.
Brilliant.
So, should we crack on with the show?
Let's crack on with the show.
Here we go.
What's going on, guys? You good?
Yeah, well, good.
Yeah,
How are
not
you?
bad.
Nice. Yeah, I'm doing good, thanks. People won't see, but there's a lot of guitars on screen right now.
Yeah. There's
Yes. Oh, yeah, guitars
that side.
everywhere.
There's a lot in your screen as well. Look at that lot.
Yeah.
What
yeah,
the-
combined, we've got a lot happening.
How you got into guitar and music and your current projects and things like that. Introduce yourself.
So, I guess I've been playing guitar for a stupid amount of years now. It's crazy. Same as you guys, I imagine. I've been playing since I was 9, and I just fell into it, you know. It was kind of, my dad had a Guns N' Roses CD. Weirdly enough, he didn't like them. He didn't even like that CD. He'd brought that CD, used to work in Hong Kong. He'd brought that CD in Hong Kong, and he actually held it up to me and said, I don't like this album, but do you want to have a listen? And that's just I still think about it all the time now. It's like, that is the weirdest thing to do.
Yeah. That's like a
feel like-
pinnacle moment, really, isn't it? Because if
Yeah.
you've not heard that at
It's
that
like-
point.
Yeah, imagine he'd not done that. And it's also just so weird because I would never do that to someone and go, I hate this. You want to check it out? You know?
Maybe
just
to an
so
enemy. That's what you didn't like.
Yeah, like imagine doing that, especially to your kids. But I'm just so glad that he did.
What album was it?
It was Use Your Illusion, and I always get muddled up between
One, two.
which one it was because it had the wrong front cover on it.
Oh,
So it had the blue cover, but I think it was actually the yellow/orange cover. What?
yeah.
Okay.
But it had like Don't Cry, Knocking on Heaven's Door, all those tunes
Yeah.
on it. So yeah, that's really what got me into guitar in the first place. But you know, it's crazy because Slash has influenced so many guitar players and helped a lot of guitar players just start in the first place, you know? So that was a huge thing for me. And I just got hooked. And I remember just listening to it on repeat and just being obsessed with how raw it sounded. And there's just so much attitude in those albums as well. I know a lot of people kind of lean towards the Appetite for Destruction stuff, but maybe as a nostalgia thing, I've always preferred the Use Your Illusion sound and the production on that. But yeah, I was so into it. And then from there, me and my parents used to go to like car boot sales all the time growing up.
Yeah.
Especially being in the Midlands, there was quite a lot of them, you know, car boot sales on a Sunday or whatever.
I did as well.
Yeah, we did as well.
Yeah, there you go. So,
Tradition.
yeah, and you can, you know, you get to the car boot sale, you smell like the donut smell. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
They have those little donut vans. So yeah, I remember that. Anyway, my grandparents used to give me like pocket money like £1, £2. And when you're a kid, like £1 or £2, it's like just something to spend. And a car boot sale, that can get you quite a lot. And this one week, it did get me quite a lot. It got me the gift of guitar. You know, £2 got me a classical guitar, which is insane. £2. And I remember the guy laughing at me because I was like, can I have this guitar for £2? And, you know, at car boot sales, people are just getting rid of things. And he kind of laughed and then just let me have it. So I learned to play guitar on that classical guitar. And, you know, your classic Smoke on the Water and all that stuff. But YouTube was around at the time and we had like a family computer. So I remember going onto the computer quite a lot and be like, how to play, and then like a song that I liked at the time. Yeah. And then that kind of transformed to Ozzy Osbourne songs and Black Sabbath, and, you know, I got down Crazy Train and stuff like that. So when that started escalating a little bit, that's when I upgraded to electric guitar. And I guess at the time I must have maybe still been 9 or maybe 10. And there was like a second-hand shop in town. My dad took me in and I got like I don't even think it was a Squire. I think it was an Encore Strat.
Oh, I remember those. Yeah.
Pretty terrible either way, but, you know.
But at the time, it's like the best thing ever, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's like, exactly. This is so cool.
It's better than not having one.
Yeah, totally.
I just remember thinking, like, I'm obsessed with the way this feels. And it's like, it felt heavier than the classical guitar, and it felt like I could really do something with that. So yeah, I remember like that was a big thing, and it came with a little Squire amp, weirdly enough. So it came as like a pair, and that was like £40 at the time. So I was doing all right, you know. Yeah. £42 spent on guitar at that point. So that was pretty cool. And then I started to escalate a little bit and learn some proper riffs and stuff like that, because you discover distortion, the little distortion button on the amp. Yeah. Crank that thing up.
Yeah, I had one of those amps where you press the button in and it's like...
Yeah, exactly. And thinking back, it probably sounded awful. It was like the speaker was flabbing around and stuff, probably. But yeah,
I can guarantee it sounded awful. Mine did.
Yeah.
For the ordered.
But it does the job. It gets you going, doesn't it? That's the thing. So
yeah, exactly. It's that inspiration. It's how it makes you feel. And yeah, I just remember YouTube being a big thing for me because I'm self-taught. So like, it was YouTube all the time. It was like, how to play this, how to play that. And it was just this awesome thing to come home from school to. You know, It was like I was thinking about it at school, and then when you get home, it's like, oh, I've got that down, and it was just this endless cycle. And I guess that's what we do now as guitar players. We're always chasing something. That's what keeps the inspiration alive, whether it's tone, gear, techniques, you know, songwriting, production. There's so many different branches of this tree that you can just get into. So yeah, I mean, that really kicked things off. And then from there, it just kept going, playing in a band in school and like leaving and trying to pursue music as an actual career and stuff like that. And it's just been chasing the dragon since, you know.
Yeah. Exactly. I remember playing with your first band at the old Salutation. You were supporting...
Yes, that's right.
As in Emperor Chung, wasn't you? With Tom Platz.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Was it Parasite?
It was.
Yeah, I know. I remember seeing these. I don't know how old you were at the time, Danny, but it was like, oh my word, these guys are young and they can certainly play. So, wow. So yeah, I think from like personally, when I first witnessed you playing, both of you playing actually, because you're both exceptional guitar players. I thought, they're going on to good things, and you've both done really great things. So I'm very proud of you, how much you've both achieved. So yeah.
Oh man, I really appreciate that, and I remember just like really looking forward to that gig as well, because you know, I don't even think we were really old enough to be in there. So that was like a
no, I don't think you weren't.
You know, like a super big deal. Just, playing at nighttime that late in a club, and, you know, just felt like we're on the scene, you know. So that was really cool. And super inspirational, of course. You know, you hear loud guitars and people like yourself, like with amazing tone and amazing playing. It's like, when you're that age as well, that's the kind of thing that makes you go home and you just like, oh, I can't sleep, man. I can't sleep. I'm just thinking about that tone, that playing.
That's the tinnitus.
So, yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, it's really crazy to think about it. Like, it's been just years of playing guitar, chasing music. And I don't know if you guys ever have this same thing, but like sometimes you maybe look at the gear that you have or you've accumulated over the years, or for instance, like your studio right now, how it's, you've got orange amps in there with the orange walls and stuff like that. And sometimes you just like look around you and just go like, oh wow, I've been chasing this music thing. And it's like, I've gotten to this point doing it, it's crazy. And I think it's important to take those little moments. They don't happen very often, but when they do, it's quite overwhelming of like, man, like this has just been music. It's crazy.
Yeah, especially when you get the reviews come in, or the cool shows, or when you're in it, you can. It's easy to forget sometimes.
Yeah,
like you say, those moments of reflection.
So
sorry, mate.
Yeah,
talked over you.
Yeah, no, sorry, I talked over you. I was just saying that. Think just because things move so fast, it's easier to move on from it.
It's that natural kind of human behavior where we're always chasing the next thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. onto the next thing.
Yeah, onto the next thing, and you don't have time to kind of evaluate. I suppose being in the moment without sounding too hippie is a good way of kind of enjoying these things a bit more. But what was the kind of? I mean, I know, but let's share about the big step, the big band that you joined.
Yeah.
Next.
So when I was, I guess I was probably 18 or 19 at the time. No, actually, I think I was 19. And I joined Inglorious, which is like a new wave of classic rock band. And at the time, that felt huge for me. Just because, as well, we were heading into... I was already a fan of the band. And we were heading straight into like a headline tour. That headline tour consisted of like headlining places like Shepherd's Bush Empire. And that was like my 6th or 7th gig with that band.
Wow.
But it did
pressure.
Also... yeah, the pressure was kind of crazy as well. But I think, what I learned during those years, it's priceless, really. Things in the business and things behind the scenes that I learned, as well as things that, you learn on these tours and playing these big shows. But the pressure thing was definitely one of those. I remember the first gig that I did with them. I feel like it was down south somewhere, like I want to say like Portsmouth kind of area. Yeah. Sorry, I think it was actually Southampton. And I remember that the green room, there was no direct link from the green room to the stage. You had to go downstairs and then walk through the whole crowd. I remember there was all this speculation as well, because it was a completely fresh lineup. Yeah. So we were already getting like so much hate, especially as the new members. And me being the youngest one as well, that was where the most doubt was coming in. So I was seeing all this stuff online and people like saying what they want. So that was really weird. Like the first gig, and I've got my guitar on me, I'm walking through this crowd and I can like hear people saying things, and it's just like going around your head. It was just a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And I remember playing that gig and thinking that really wasn't my best performance at all. But there was a lot of pressure there. There was a lot of nerves. And it was hard to kind of like, when you're on stage and you just flow, and there's maybe certain solos that you might improvise and certain things that you might embellish and throw in. I always find that like the perfect flow state where you're like excited, but also you're pulling things off and you're like proud of them and go, yeah, that was cool. I liked what I played there. It was tasty, whatever. That's like the perfect flow state, where I just had none of that on the first gig. And I remember just thinking like, God, this is so much pressure. I don't know if I can do this. Mm. But it just started to level out, the more gigs that we did on that tour, we started to really kind of gel as a band. But there was just a lot of learning through those years. And yeah, I'm super grateful for the experience, to be honest.
Is there any like standout shows that you did back then?
Definitely Shepherd's Bush was a big one. Especially because like backstage, there's all these photographs of people that have played there. And I feel like there's a picture of Lenny Kravitz on the wall. There's a picture of Jimmy Page. There's one of like Keith Richards and stuff. And it's pretty insane.
Yeah.
And you know, you're looking at those photos being like, oh my God, like I was stood in that same exact place, completely coming from like a massive fanboy perspective, not a perspective of like, oh yeah, now I'm up there and all that. So it's completely not that. I know that they're way above, you know, but it was just so cool. So that was definitely a standout one. And I think the other one that really sticks out to me was Grass Pop, because we opened the main stage at Grass Pop.
Oof.
And yeah,
Nice.
which was mad.
Yeah.
And I remember just like a sea of people. I was so nervous for that gig. And it was like the time that we had before stage just flew. It's kind of, I don't know if you guys have the same thing, but maybe this is like a musician thing, but a reoccurring nightmare for me is like going out to a huge performance and not knowing the songs and
It's funny
and just not being ready.
Yeah.
Not being ready for it at all. Even though I knew the songs, time went so fast that when it was time to play at Grass Pop, it was like, right, we have to head to the stage now. We got to go now. It's time to go. And I remember just feeling like so not ready and just like, oh my God. And then like our intro music played, come out from behind the curtain and there's just like a sea of people. And I remember just having this front of like massive confidence, but it was just to actually hide the fact that I was like, oh my God, I'm shitting it. You know, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear, but I really
No,
was.
you are.
I really was shitting it. And at the time as well, you know, these are big gigs. So, you know, we're using 100-watt Marshalls and stuff like that and cabs, and they're super loud stages. No one was on in-ears. That was something that I discovered later on. So you've got like tons of Marshall in the side fill, which is all very cool and rock and roll. But when you've got things like single coils running, everything starts squealing. That's all playing against you on top of the pressure. And it's very like techie kind of parts in that band as well. There's been some great guitar players in that band. So that, yeah, it's all like very technical stuff. But yeah, it was still a great gig, but it was definitely one that I wasn't ready for. But at the same time, we pulled it off, and that's just one of the standout ones to me that I learned a lot doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds well exciting.
Doesn't it?
Danny, do you want to tell us about your latest exciting project you're working on?
Absolutely. So, a few months ago, we put out our debut track, Atom Bomb, and yeah, this has been in the making maybe for a couple years now. And the way it all came about was we recorded with our previous band with Josiah Manning, who owns Momentum Studios, and he's also a massive role and part in the Chris Barris band as well.
Yeah.
Josiah's like a multi-instrumentalist, producer, mixing engineer, just like he's a real like techie guy about everything, real precision. So yeah, he's a proper weapon basically. So he started working with Dan Stevens, and they were working on a bit of a project, writing some very modern sounding stuff. And Dan was kind of asking me, he was like, oh, do you want to get on board with this? And I was kind of like, I'm not sure. I mean, you know how it goes with starting something from scratch. It's kind of like, it just seems like a mental concept, doesn't it? It's like, really? Like starting something from the bottom and building it up, it's a huge commitment.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so I remember at first I wasn't really sure about it, which kind of leads me on to something that I'll talk about later, which is like having big fears about things and trying to overcome them. But yeah, that was the first initial kind of interaction of this band. Yeah. And then later on, they were actually in the studio wrapping up a song without vocals. And Josiah actually knew that I was singing a little bit. And I think Dan knew as well. So Dan messaged me and he was like, we're just wrapping up this track. Do you want to bash some vocals on it? Just, I guess, with some kind of like joking confidence, you know. And it just so happened that on that day, I was kind of like, had a few hours free in the afternoon, and I was thinking, oh, well, that'd actually be kind of fun, just just putting it into Logic and just giving it a bash. So I replied and I was like, send it over and I'll try and think of something within the next few hours. And I think he was like, okay, whatever. Sent it over. I pinged over a few ideas, and there was this kind of like back and forth of like, yep, it's really cool. Try doing this. And we worked really well and really quick. Yeah. And within a few hours, we had like a chorus that sounded like a legit song, So that was that turning point of, oh, hang on a minute. Like maybe we could actually do something and this would be really fun. And we all know each other really well. We gel really well as a band. So that was that big moment. But I still wasn't completely sold on myself. So I said to myself, right, if we go to the studio, if we go to Plymouth and stay at Josiah's studio, and I track these vocals and I feel confident about it and it sounds good, we're going to make this a band. But if we don't, then, guys, please don't be upset at me. I was trying to like manage expectations and be like, I'm not sure about it yet.
Play it down a little bit.
Had an absolute blast. And it's great because we're all just like great friends. So we're all just hanging out, and it was almost like it didn't feel like work, and it sounded great. And we recorded a few more tracks to follow that, and it just all started working. So that was how the band was born. And then later on, we got Will involved, and Will is an amazing drummer. He's played with a band called City of Thieves, and they're now called Four Wheel Drive. Yeah. And they know each other. Dan and Will know each other from college. He also opened up for Inglorious on one of the tours that me and Dan were on. So that all just came really naturally. And before you know it, we had an actual band, and we're having to do like, all the boring stuff, all the pushing your tracks and all the behind the scenes stuff, which is the hard part, but it's totally worth it for those moments of magic and being proud of stuff as well. As you guys know, as creators, and I was listening to your track earlier as well, Pulling Me Under, which is amazing, by the way. And it's great to hear you singing as well. And I'm sure we can relate on a lot of things with the whole, like, maybe being primary guitar players, having that fear of like, oh, should I be singing? Is that a thing? Is that a thing? Really?
That's exactly how I feel, mate.
It took years and years to get you the confidence to sing. We was all trying to make him sing for, probably 15 years ago, we were probably trying to force you to sing.
Yeah, it's just, I actually quite enjoy singing now.
Wow.
I find
it shows. It shows.
Yeah, I think it's. I don't know about you, but I think it kind of falls into this like meditation zone for me now, because it's like so much focused on the breath and everything. So it's good for mentalness. Mental. It's
not sure that's how you say it these days.
So I'll reset. It's good for mental health. I think it is for me anyway. Yes. I feel better when I'm having a good singing day. So.
Nice.
But the tracks that I've heard so far with, am I pronouncing it correctly, Danny? Thrxnes?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, what I've heard so far is awesome, and I can't wait to hear more. So it's really
I
exciting.
appreciate it, man.
Really happy for you.
Have you got any releases coming out soon, Danny?
You know what we do? We've got one right around the corner.
Ooh, exclusive.
Right around the corner, man. So it's actually the 26th it comes out. So 10 days' time. And, I know everyone always says this, so it kind of feels like, it feels a little bit cringe to say it, but this is my favorite one yet. And I know everyone says it. Everyone says it. Come on. But this is my favorite one yet. I think it's got a great balance in terms of, riff ratio, breakdown ratio, solo ratio, and chorus, melodic kind of catchiness. So I think it ticks a lot of boxes. But, I'm just excited to see what people think. And this is the first track as well where the tempo has been a little bit faster paced. The first two tracks are quite similar in tempo, and this one's a little bit faster. So it's going to be interesting to see what people think of this. And it's been an interesting journey as well like learning how to do all the metal side of singing as well, like the screams and stuff, you know. So my neighbours won't be
You don't
my
dabble, do you?
neighbours won't be happy, but that's been an interesting journey and finding my confidence through that.
Oh, great stuff. I look forward to hearing more, mate.
Appreciate it, man.
We'll go over the rules first.
Time for the rules, baby.
Okay.
Are you okay with that? I mean, you've already had them on the email, I assume, but
Yes, I
We've had some
think I
people-
roughly remember, yeah.
we've had some people flaunting the rules a little.
Okay.
We just want to make sure that we're all clear.
Unacceptable.
What's the first rule, Danny?
So, anyone that's in this dream band, you cannot have been in a band with them before or currently.
Cool.
And you can't have more than one member from the same band.
Got you.
All good?
Got it.
Woo!
Understood.
There you go. There we go. Easy.
Nice and simple.
Easy.
Boom.
We're not horrible men.
I will obey the rules.
You better do.
And I think we can probably fit in. What role are you going to do, Danny? Role in the
I'm
band.
gonna stick with the old trusty guitar. However, I think it will be apparent in my lineup choice that there's going to be a lot of backing vocals anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm quite happy with that. And I'm also happy to sit vocally in the shadow of some of the vocalists that are going to be in this band. So I'm cool with that.
Very exciting.
Yeah,
So guitar and backing vocals.
Yeah. Guitar and backing vocals. And I have selected a rhythm guitarist as well.
Okay.
Which,
We'll
by
go
the way,
through that
was
anyway.
that was a very difficult thing to do, choice to make.
We panicked because the where it saves the audio to has changed. So we were like,
It's gone!
Where's it all gone?
No, we found it.
It's there. Don't worry.
Okay, nice. I hate those moments. I always
Yeah.
feel that with like filming video stuff, because the camera that I used to use, it would only film like half an hour at a time, then would just stop. So sometimes if I'd go over, it's like,
That'll be
I've
it.
just lost loads of work. Brilliant.
Yeah, I lost an entire album once.
What?
I wrote an album. It was like a collaboration album. And I managed to delete the entire thing.
What? Seriously?
Well, it couldn't be that
whole
good, so I
thing.
can't remember anything that I wrote. So
Who was it with?
it was like loads of different singers at the time.
And you just deleted it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody got back in touch.
Wow.
That's amazing.
But it's okay.
You might find it one day.
No.
It might just reappear.
It's
That's
gone.
an awesome story there. That's brutal, man.
That is
Whole
brutal.
album.
Some of your best work as well, unfortunately.
No, that's like I say, it can't be that good.
You
So I
knew-
can't remember a single thing off
That
it.
EU
so.
stuff's rubbish, so...
Wow.
You absolute bastard.
I know.
Right, let's move on. Right, Danny, we're going to
Danny
ask
and
you
Dan.
your dream drummer. Did I say drummer?
You said jummer then?
It's because I've got
What's it?
earplugs in. It makes me sound
Danny,
like I'm
can you just explain to me what a jummer does?
a
in
drummer.
band?
It's a person who
Jums.
likes jumping.
No, it's not.
All right.
Your dream
Dream.
drummer. I'll say it, because you're completely incapable of saying it, aren't you? We're going to go through now your dream drummer.
Okay.
Right.
And we have been starting with honourable mentions as well. So if you've got anyone that might have been in the band, we're happy for you to mention it.
Okay.
If not, don't worry.
I think just because of the nature of classic rock, it's going to have to go to John Bonham.
John Bonham.
I was hoping this drummer would get picked at some
Yeah,
point.
I mean, of course.
John Bonham. I mean, it's just the sound as well. It's so fat. Do you know what I mean? It's
Big.
Yeah.
It's just the pocket, and it's just huge. It's just wicked. That's a definite winner. However, a couple guys that did cross my mind that aren't really that much like John Bonham, but equally as epic.
Yeah.
Joey Jordison.
Oh,
That'd be
Oh,
pretty
very
that'd be
different.
pretty-
Insane
yeah,
drummer.
very different. But he'd be a very epic drummer at the back there, and I think he'd just perform really well. On top
Yeah.
of that, he'd just tick a lot of boxes. And then another very different one, but Tony, I think it's Tony Royster Jr. I think that's his name, and he's a amazing session player, super gospel chops, and yeah,
cool.
he's awesome. But I always see his videos come up on Instagram, and that'd be a great option as well. He's played for some huge people. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he's played for like people like Beyonce and stuff. So he's a very all rounder kind of drummer.
Yeah.
You know, on top of having his own flair and style and stuff. So yeah, but I think I'm pretty happy with John Bonham. I think we'll take that.
That's fair enough.
I'm happy with that choice.
Me too. Have you got a favourite piece of music by John Bonham? Favourite track?
When the levee breaks.
Oh, okay.
When the levee breaks.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah. And his son as well, Jason Bonham, is fantastic as well with Black Country Communion. So
one of Danny's favourites.
I'm always talking about.
He can't shut up about them.
About BCC.
Oh, he loves them.
They're awesome.
Yeah. In fact, Jason would actually. No, I'm not going to say it. At this point in time, Jason would be my choice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think things have changed, though.
Yeah, we're on the same page here.
Yeah. Exactly.
Same bloodline.
Yeah.
It is the same bloodline, yeah. Have you ever met him before?
Jason Bonham.
Well,
there's no way you could have met John Bonham.
You're too young, aren't you?
He's way
You're
too
far
young.
too young. Have you met Jason at all? His lad?
I think I have once, actually. That sounds so stupid.
This is why I ask.
I think that sounds like so like up myself, but actually it's just because I went to see Black Country Communion and I did have the pleasure of meeting Glenn Hughes and Joe Bonamassa, and I think because I was just so blown away by that, if I did meet Jason, I might have forgotten because I was so fanboyed. I was fanboying over Joe Bonamassa, but I think I have, but I don't know.
Sorry, Jason, if you're listening.
Sorry, Jason.
There's no need to explain. If Bonamassa was there,
that's all you'd look at.
I would be completely.
Yeah.
Everything just went out the window, and yeah, that gig as well was one of the first gigs that I'd ever been to where I didn't hear a single mistake from the guitar player. Like, he was just flawless. It was just absolutely ridiculous. And after the gig, he was just like chilling, Diet Coke in hand, exactly how you expect him to be.
Yeah.
And he was super nice as well. But yeah, I was fanboying for sure, internally.
Yeah. Seems like a cool dude. The whole band do, actually.
Definitely.
Should we move on to the next member?
The next member, yeah. I'll let you do this one, Danny, so you struggled with the last one.
Right. I'm assuming, based on what you said before, you're going to have a rhythm guitar player?
Yes.
Who's this going to be? Who is it?
This was a really tough one because, I mean, the nature of the whole dream band situation, one of the things is you're going to be in that band as well.
Yeah.
And as I will be playing guitar in that band, it's like you can name so many ridiculous guitar players, can't you? But it just seems just so wrong to just be putting some ridiculous lead players in that rhythm slot. It would just I'd seem like a complete fraud as well. So I was battling back and forth in my head about this one. But after some thought, I think not many people will expect this, but I'm going to put Chad Kroger in there. Is it Kroger?
The Krug!
Yeah.
I was not expecting that. Another one of Danny's favourites.
Yes.
Yeah,
Indeed.
I mean, Nickelback. I mean, the riffs.
I'm not ashamed to admit it. I love the Krog.
He loves him.
Yes.
True love.
So I think that would be great as well. And he'd just be, imagine the backing vocals, you know?
Yeah,
and
that
he's saying
would
that he has
be
to do
incredible.
backing vocals. Maybe he takes the lead vocal on some tracks or whatever. But I mean, that's a strong vocal right there as well. So, and he just holds down so well in terms of riffs and his guitar playing as well. So I thought that was a pretty good option, if I say so myself. But also,
I agree.
it did take me a long time to get to that decision. So, yeah.
I agree.
So who are some of the people you thought about putting in there but didn't? Who are the people you left out?
I think just as a Guns N' Roses fan, one of the first ones that comes to mind is like Izzy Stradlin.
Yep, very good rhythm player, isn't he?
Yeah,
Very,
of
very good.
course. But at the same time, I just thought I just think it wasn't that creative, and I just thought, it sounds so. It's just getting so cliche. So I just thought, right, we got to think about this a little bit. And as soon as I thought about it a little bit longer, I was like, that's a great option. Get Chatty Boy in there.
Oh, the Krog, he's a bit of his riffs, especially in the early stuff, I mean, there's some flipping awesome riffs.
What's that riff that's like don't count, don't count. I mean, it's just sick. So yeah, I think that's a good choice.
That's an excellent choice.
No, I agree completely.
Have you seen Nickelback?
I have.
You've seen them
I've seen
live,
them
yeah?
once. I think it was at Wembley Arena, and they were doing like shots and stuff on stage, which is crazy. They're just like a non-stop party train. And you know what? A lot of people have an issue with them live. A lot of people are kind of saying like, it just sounds like the record. They're just so, you know. I think
Sounds
it's a
too
compliment.
It's exactly.
Exactly. I think
Yeah.
that's a compliment. I really like that. I think that's awesome. They sound really polished. They're really tight. And I love the records, and I want to hear it as loud as possible live as well, but I want to see them doing it live. So I was pretty happy with that, to be honest.
I enjoy. I've seen them on YouTube do a couple of Metallica covers live,
Better than
Nice.
Metallica?
and it sounds better than Metallica,
Yeah.
which is
Wow. That's mad.
which is mad, really, isn't it?
They're
Sad but
awesome.
true stands out.
Sad but
that.
true, yeah.
I mean, obviously, they didn't write it. I know that, but
Yeah.
No, and they haven't got to deal with
I'll check
Lars.
that out.
yeah.
They haven't got to deal with
Exactly.
Lars, so that's always good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to check that out.
Have you met the Croak?
No, I have not.
Have you met him,
Definitely
Danny?
haven't.
I've not met the Croak.
Have you
But
not?
I'll just...
Oh,
The reason why I wanted this guitar is because
Ah.
of the Croak.
oh, is that his?
Nice.
Is that
Well,
one of his?
he was using one of these on like this had this live VHS Danny at the time. I'm a bit older than you.
Nice. I remember that.
he was
I
like-
remember VHS, to be fair.
It was something like live in Toronto or Calgary or something.
Yeah.
And he was like rocking this guitar. So
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, he's got some
Documentary's
nice
good as well.
ones.
What's
You'll
the
have to check
documentary
that
called?
out.
The Krug.
It's called Love to Hate, I think. It's on
Oh, I have heard of that, actually.
yeah, it's worth watching, mate. I think you'll enjoy it.
That's cool. Like, one of my favorite things to do is like have these little nostalgia evenings where you put on old music videos, like 2000s music videos.
Yep.
And obviously Nickelback, they appear quite a lot. And it's just crazy. You watch some of these videos and you get all that nostalgia feeling and that throwback feeling. And then you start thinking to yourself, man, how much did this thing cost? How much did this video cost? And you start like trying to do the math in your head, and it's just like ludicrous amount of money on some of these vids. And obviously technology has changed so much, and the quality of things and 4K and 8K and all that, it all goes up. But then when you watch some of these old videos, it's like, this would have cost insane money, and it's like all pixelated and stuff. You know, it's crazy.
Well, Kerrang's gone now, isn't it?
Yeah.
The
Oh, really?
music,
I didn't know
music
that.
TV channel, yeah.
Yeah, it's gone under.
So there's no Scuzz anymore.
The
no
age
Kerrang.
of the age of the music video is no
quite
more,
sad.
unless it's on TikTok, which I'm too old to
I
be on
know,
TikTok.
it's
Yeah,
become a
it's not my
thing
thing.
where it's like, you know, it's more content than anything else, isn't it? It's like the
Yeah.
music video is used for the content and the reels and all that stuff. But yeah, mad.
So next up, Danny, we've got your dream bass player. Don't disappoint me.
This was actually a really hard one, just mainly because as a guitar player, you just don't care about bass. No, I'm just kidding.
I was going to say, I respect the honesty, but I don't like it.
I'm just kidding. But
Another dig.
I know that you're a bass player, and I was waiting to say that.
Cheers.
The whole,
As long as it's
the
not,
whole podcast.
and you can't pick a keyboard player playing MIDI bass, okay? That's not
yes.
allowed.
All right, damn. Okay, let me rethink this.
Or what's that other one? Is it a Chapman stick? One of them weird things.
There's lots of weirds.
Yeah.
No, stick to bass.
So this was my initial choice, but literally in that split second, I think I've decided on someone else, and they're very different.
Okay.
My initial choice was Flea.
Okay, good choice.
Yeah.
gotta
Obviously,
respect the
very iconic.
Yeah.
However, thinking about it now, I think this guy would just kill it. He's just always got the right tones. He could probably help me with my guitar tone as well. and the mixing side of it and the engineering. But I think
we might know who it is.
I think Nolly could be well in there. Dude, imagine that. It's like John Bonham, Chad, and Nolly.
Oh my God.
And yourself.
Don't forget you.
I mean, I'm happy to play triangle at this point. But
Nolly's
that'd be pretty epic, eh? Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Nolly because
I think this is the first time we've had a repeat.
Dun, dun, dun.
Nolly. I know.
I can't believe I didn't think of it earlier, but I think maybe that's just proof of how talented the guy is because he's got,
and you're right. It's not just a bass player. He can play guitar. Right. Is a crazy producer as well.
Exactly. And in this day and age, you've got to get so much stuff done behind the scenes. I think having someone that's a real weapon like that, I think that could be a huge advantage to our band that was starting,
Yes.
Totally. And I'm pretty sure he can play anything on bass, anything at all. Anything you throw at him.
Exactly. I think he'd have the right sound all the time. So I think, we'll go with Nolly, I think.
Oh.
Very different from Flea, though. Because you've got old school versus new school, haven't you?
Yeah, very different from Flea.
But I think Nolly would fit in better.
Yeah.
With everyone involved so far.
Yeah, definitely.
I can imagine it more.
Leaning more towards the hard rock, and obviously he can do all the metal stuff and the gent stuff. But maybe sit in a little bit easier. But at the same time, like Flea is amazing as well. Like he's on one of the Alanis Morissette albums.
Oh,
do you know that?
Yeah, I think
my reaction.
Yeah,
surprise.
Yeah, and his bass playing on that is awesome. And obviously he's kind of, I guess, sessioning in that sense, and he's not trying to force it down your throat that it's like I'm Flea and this is all my like funky style and stuff. He kind of sits in a different way, which is cool. Which is kind of what made me think about that. But yeah, I think we'll go with Nolly.
Have you seen Nolly play before? Periphery?
I haven't. I don't think I have. I've seen plenty of stuff online.
Yeah, he does lots of videos, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I haven't seen Periphery live. I'd like to, though.
Amazing live. Amazing.
Yeah, you guys seen them live?
I've seen them a couple of times.
I don't think I have.
Wow.
Have I seen them? I don't think I have.
I'm sure we watched them at Download together when Black Sabbath were on, and we chose Periphery over Black Sabbath.
I forgot. I must have seen. Yes.
Memory unlocked.
Sorry. Yeah, memory unlocked. I remember. I have seen Periphery. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's it. As a musician, you just see so many bands. It's like it's crazy.
Yeah, I think I saw him in his first band as well. So, what they were called? Was it Red something?
Oh, cool. I wasn't aware about that.
Yeah, he played guitar in his Nolly in his first band.
Ah, that makes sense.
We'll put it in post.
Yeah, we'll edit it in. I can confirm that Nolly played for Red Seas Fire as a guitarist.
Nice.
Oh, so we picked Periphery over Black Sabbath, did we?
Yeah.
Good choice.
Mad.
Yeah.
Did we? I was about to call it the end of Black Sabbath, didn't we?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine then.
That's cool. That's all right then.
Yeah, decent.
Worth it.
And we're on to your final member.
Yeah.
Already.
This is the hardest one to choose, in my opinion.
It is. I'm trying
to think. The dream vocalist.
Yeah. This was hard. But I've got two guys that are like probably my favourite vocalists. And that is, I'm going to give the main spot to Chris Cornell.
Legend.
Chris Cornell.
Rest in peace, Chris.
I approve.
Yes.
What an awesome... Wow. Is he the best vocalist ever? There's a question there.
It's a good question. It's one of my favourite albums, You Fall in the Morning. Have you listened to that album? It's a masterpiece.
I don't know.
Wow.
It's
his first solo album. Check it out, Danny. If you've
Wow,
not
I
heard it
will
already.
check that out, yeah. I really liked that James Bond theme he did.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
Yeah, it's
And obviously, like, the Audio Slave stuff, that's what really stood out to me. With the monster riffs and, like, all that grit in his voice. I was kind of battling between him and Chester Bennington.
Another strong choice.
Rest in peace, Chester. And again, they're both... I mean, I know Chester loved Chris. They were friends, I think, weren't they?
Yeah, right.
Really good friends.
But, I think either one of those at the front, just giving it the grit, giving it the big one, I think that would be pretty epic. I've seen a lot of videos online of Chris Cornell, and it really inspired me as well. Not that I'm even a patch on Chris Cornell, of course, but it inspired me in the sense that, you know, nowadays there's a lot of auto-tune happening and there's a lot of like post stuff, which is cool, and I like that polished sound, but he just was never afraid to just let it rip. Do you know what I mean? Like, he'd turn up to these like live sessions and just let it rip. He wasn't too precious about pitch all the time, but it still worked. He still pulled it off.
Every word had feeling.
That's by no means saying that he's pitchy or any of that stuff. It's just that he kind of didn't let that get in the way of anything. He just went for it, you know? And I really respect that. I think that's awesome.
He was more focused on performance, wasn't he?
Definitely.
I mean, when I record vocals, I would struggle to do auto-tune anyway, because I wouldn't even know how to use the bloody thing. But I'd rather just take my time and get a good take. And,
of course.
You know, I do not endorse auto-tune.
Yeah.
But, it can be frustrating at times, but I'd rather... It's more of like an achievement personally as well. Like,
definitely.
I actually managed to do that. Doing it live.
Yeah, getting that perfect take. And it's like capturing the energy of things as well. I always find, I guess it's the same with most instruments, but let's take guitar, for example. A lot of my process when it comes to like writing a solo or writing a piece of lead on something, I'll kind of do a couple improvised takes and then I'll be like, okay, that was cool about it and that was cool. And then I'll try and fill in those gaps in between with maybe melodic passages from get to here, or the opposite, where it's more like rhythmic and like shreddy to kind of balance the melody. And then you've got this like chopped up solo. And then I try and like learn the whole thing, because then if you then do it all one take, it's weird. Sometimes you can capture a lot of energy within that you wouldn't necessarily get if you just went like chopping all these tiny bits into one big solo. And I think it's the same with vocals as well. You know, I'm not saying you should be going out there and being like, right, I'm going to record a track, I'm going to do it start to finish and just do it one take like that. Of course, that's quite unrealistic in a lot of situations. But sometimes just saying to yourself, right, I'm going to go for it, and just try and put some energy into that take. It can make such a massive difference in the end result. And it's hard to pinpoint why that is, but it's just your commitment to something.
Yeah,
that's
just
you commit to something. Yeah.
Sometimes the actual passage, whether it's on guitar or vocals, there'll be something in it that's like, oh, that was a little bit off, whether it's pitch or timing, but it's like, well, the one that was like spot on, it hasn't got that kind of mojo.
Yeah,
so
weird,
you opt
isn't
for the
it?
one that's a little bit off.
Definitely, yeah.
It's more real, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's strange, isn't it?
It's more human.
It's more human. Did you ever see Chris Cornell?
No, unfortunately, never did.
Have we? We have.
We've seen him twice, Dan.
We've seen him twice.
We saw him on the that the album that was
the album I don't like.
Is it called Shout or something? That album,
the Timbaland produced one.
Yeah, but it sounded amazing live because it
was a bit more rocky.
I believe he had Pete Thorne on guitar as well. So
sick!
That was
nice.
cool.
That was a download.
Nice.
And the next time it download was with Soundgarden.
Yes, sorry, yeah.
And that was just like, And he actually on stage when he's with Soundgarden, he's playing guitar. He's pretty stationary. He was like stationary, just in front of the mic, chilled out, and just delivered the goods. And that was like enough and more.
Yeah,
you know, it was like a magic moment, really. For speaking
wow.
Yeah,
so good.
Flipping worship that guy.
Oh, dude, so good. Such a loss to music.
Yeah,
and same as Chester as well.
Yeah,
that kind of way that he'd get so high in his vocal, but also it's got that extreme distortion and compression.
Yeah.
Like naturally, it's just insane, and it really makes you feel something, doesn't it?
And
it makes you feel
truly unique as well.
Awesome.
No one will ever sound like them. Both of them.
Yeah,
no.
That's right. Like you say, truly unique. And you know, if people do sound that way, that's cool as well. There's people going to be influenced, but it makes you think instantly, like, oh, you sound like this guy, or you sound like this guy, kind of thing. Yeah. Whereas, isn't it insane that they were the first to do that of their kind? You know, I find that so amazing about musicians in general that have that unique sound. It's like, you did that first. That's insane. Like the Beatles. It's
Yeah,
like, wow.
yeah. It's mad. It's mad. Especially if you listen to Cornell's voice when he first started out in Soundgarden. I don't know if you've heard some of those first, like, proper, the first
haven't.
EPs they did. His voice is very, like, he's kind of experimenting a lot. And there's, like, breaks all over the place. And there's kind of, it's quite an abrupt sound at times.
Right.
But it's really cool because you're like, that's how he discovered that sound.
Right, yeah. You can see
and then
the
he's like
passages.
refined it through the years.
How he found his voice.
Amazing.
Yeah, but I mean, his voice in Soundgarden compared to when it was in Audiosleeve, for me, is very different. He kind of
Right, yeah.
I don't know if it's an age thing or whatever, but
Maybe.
it was really cool to I love both periods really. I love everything.
Yeah.
He did, so.
It's mad.
Temple
I'm
of the
gonna have to
Dog as
go
well.
back.
Awesome.
I have to go back and listen.
What a guy.
I'll send you some links, mate.
Please do.
I like
Please do.
I like forcing Chris Cornell's voice down as many people's throats as possible.
Why not?
Yeah. Danny, let's summarise your choices, mate. Danny's Roundup.
Danny's Roundup.
So your dream drummer is?
A dream drummer. I did it again. I did what you did.
You
Drummer.
did what you did. Drummer.
Drummer.
I think we're figuring out that this is a tongue twister. My dream drummer,
That's the one.
John Bonham.
John Bonham. Your dream guitarist.
My dream guitarist, Chad Kroger.
The Krog.
Or Krog.
AKA the Kirk. Your dream bass player?
Dream bass player is Nolly.
Nolly. And your dream vocalist.
Dream vocalist, Chris Cornell.
And you're going to be...
Triangle.
No, you're not.
I have to play triangle in this band.
Absolutely not.
I'm going to attempt guitar in this band.
You'll play amazingly guitar.
We need to hear some of those sick chops all over everything.
That'd be some fun tours for sure.
Can you imagine? That'd be insane.
I was thinking about I was actually considering, just for the tour aspect, Tommy Lee. Just because I think that would be like hilarious to watch.
He'd cause hell.
He really would.
Yeah,
He'd cause hell.
right. But then I was like, nah.
You'll have fun with these. Do you think they'll all get on?
I really don't know anything about. I mean, I don't know anything about any of their personalities really, but I don't really know anything about John Bonham's personality. I've not done research on that side of things, so I don't really know.
I mean, they don't seem like dickheads.
Let's say yes. Let's say they get on.
Let's say yeah.
Yes,
I
let's
think,
say yes.
I think
Yes.
Nolly seems like a guy that can get on with a lot of people, and he works with a lot of people. I'd like to go to a few casinos with Chad. He looks like he's into that. I think that'd be quite fun. Just like,
I think Chad would be great fun.
Yeah.
doing all the American stuff. That'd be awesome. So yeah, let's hope we all get on.
Name your dream band, baby.
Well, have you got a name for this band? So,
Ooh, that
what are you
is
calling it?
Good shout. That's such a good shout. Man, I didn't even think about this.
It's always a hard one, but we do insist.
We do insist.
Oof. This is so hard. This is so hard. Band names are so difficult, man.
I know.
They are, yeah. And especially when you've got
Actually-
all these legends in this group, it needs to be a good name as well, Danny. No pressure.
It really does.
There's lots of pressure. The listeners are waiting.
I mean, I'm terrible with names. I've got this. This sounds like so random now, but in a couple of weeks, I've got a new JTC course coming out, which is a hard rock course, and we did this title track for the course, and we were trying to figure out a name for it. And someone suggested in the JTC camp, which I thought was pretty good, suggested Graphite because that is a type of hard rock. And I was like, yeah, that's cool actually. So we ended up calling the track Destructive Graphite. I told my girlfriend it, and she was like, "You're such a boy. You're such a guy. Destructive Graphite." And I'm like, well, whatever, that's the target audience. Destructive Graphite. So I thought that was pretty cool, but I mean, I'm sorry, I'm terrible with this.
I mean, are you going to call this band Destructive Graphite?
I think we might just have to go with that, just for ease.
fine with
you know.
that.
Well, just
Destructive Graphite.
Non-destructive
that
graphite.
actually sounds way. In terms of a band name, Graphite sounds better.
Yeah, graphite sounds
Let's
good.
go with that. Graphite.
Okay.
Hard rock.
Graphite. Coming soon.
Hard rock band coming near you. Coming to the
Coming
town
near
near you. Not coming near you. But that's pretty bad. Battery is not included.
Oh, Danny, it's been brilliant, mate, catching up. Thank you
it's
so
been crazy.
much.
Absolutely. Thanks for making the time and inviting me on. And yeah, best of luck with the new podcast, guys.
Yeah, best of luck with all the music as well.
Yeah,
I will
definitely.
be paying
Appreciate
close
it.
attention. And,
Absolutely. Appreciate it, man.
hopefully playing local, and I'll be there.
I know, we've got to get a gig happening. But yeah, before the end of the year, for sure.
Oh, decent.
Yes.
Where can you be found on social media, Danny? How do people find you?
Social media, I guess my main platform is Instagram. So I believe that is Dela Cruz Guitar, something along those lines.
We'll check it out and stick a link on as well.
Yeah.
And what
On the
about
old
Thrxnes?
Insta. And yeah, Thrxnes is in terms of Instagram, you know what, I forget all the usernames, but I'm sure if you type in Thrxnes, and that is replacing the O with an X, just because, you know, band names these days,
Too many
got to
vowels.
stand out. Got to stand out.
Too many vowels in there.
Yeah, exactly. Get the X in. So
Get the X in.
with Thrxnes Official on Instagram,
Okay.
and I'm sure if you type in similar, it will come up on Facebook and all that, and YouTube
other
and
stuff.
stuff. But you know, we're on all the socials,
All of the platforms.
all
Yeah.
the platforms. That's it.
Brilliant, Danny. Thanks so much, mate. Right, dude. We won't keep you any longer, mate. Thanks for all
Nice.
your time.
Yeah.
guys.
Cheers, dude. It's
Appreciate
been
it.
amazing.
All right, dude.
It's been good fun. Cheers, guys. In a bit.
Goodbye.
Well, hey!
Woo! So, Danny Dela Cruz's Dream Band. What did you think?
It's a banger.
You know what? It is a banger, especially if you're a young guy.
I agree.
Some great choices in there. Sorry, Danny, am I disturbing your pasta eating there?
Yeah, I was just swallowing a mouthful of.
I know, yeah. The,
Pesto pasta.
The listeners can tell.
Sorry, listeners. It's very disgusting.
Before we get on to discussing the rest of the Dream Band, Danny, do you want to talk what tea we've got today?
Let's talk tea.
Tea chat with Danny and
We have got.
What have we got?
We've got our standard.
Oh, God, it's so hot.
Supposed to use the bloody handle.
I've now got first degree burns on my fingertips. Is first degree the bad one? Is that the worst burn? Or is it third degree? It's turned into burn chat.
Burn chat with Danny. We've got tea pigs, peppermint and licorice.
You struggled, didn't you, with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes there's like a nervous stammer
I
that seems
can't-
to present itself. Why are you trying to drink it? It's clearly too warm for your fingers, so why do you think your esophagus is any better at resisting heat?
Well, my soft lips couldn't even cope with the rim. Nothing funny with that, Danny, I'm afraid. I mean, the rim of the mug, of course. Are you right there? Do you need first aid?
You got me.
I'm trying again. I don't know if it's doable. Hang on. I might even get a little slurp.
Why are you doing this to yourself?
It's tea chat. I need to drink tea during tea
You
chat.
describe the taste.
Can I just do the smell for now? So, you know what? It doesn't smell very nice.
It smells like pond water, but when you
Yeah.
drink it,
I know, it's a lovely tea, but I'm trying to do a live tasting. But I'm unable because of the heat.
you might end up with blisters.
Oh, see, I'm not. It's not brewed enough.
Yeah, it's not,
It's not brewed enough.
No.
I'm upset with that. Can't put it down.
more burns. Not enough flavour at the moment.
Yeah, it's got the licorice, but the sweetness is not coming through currently. So maybe the peppermint takes a little while to infuse.
Indeed.
Okay, is that enough tea chat?
Yeah, let's go back to what this podcast is about.
I mean, it's mainly about the Dream Band lineup, but secondary about tea.
Yes.
So yeah, great lineup from Danny.
Shall we what? Shall we work?
Danny just having some kind of seizure there. You right, dude?
Shall we work through his choices?
Yeah, let's go one by one. So first of all,
Drummer.
okay, be like that. John Bonham.
Amazing choice.
of the incredible Led Zeppelin.
I'm always happy with this choice.
Yeah, I like his drums.
Yes.
He's got a great, big, bold sound.
We've talked about John Bonham in the previous...
Episode.
Was it the previous one?
There was a previous episode.
A previous episode.
A previous episode.
We love his groove and his tone.
He just works really well in Led Zeppelin as well.
Yes. I'd love to hear him with modern production.
Well, we've got some more modern members in this band, haven't we? So
Indeed.
it would be amazing to see what he sounds like.
Well, should we jump straight to the bassist after this?
Oh, yeah, talking of production.
He's going to... just imagine Nolly like working with John Bonham on drum tones and recording that kind of... Because I'm hoping it's still got kind of a roomy sound.
Oh, I think
whether that would work with this band or not, but it'd be amazing.
Yeah, so we've got Nolly on bass.
Yep.
Incredible bass player.
It's not even his primary instrument.
I know, but it's amazing at it. Brilliant tone. He can play anything in the world.
In the world.
In the world. And yeah, his production and his tone is incredible.
I imagine that Nolly would have been excited to work with John Bonham as well.
Oh, yeah,
recording his drums.
So. Yeah, definitely. And then on rhythm guitar, Danny, we've got...
The Krog.
The Krog.
Chad Kroger.
We'll always refer to the Krog, Chad Kroger, as the Krog, because...
He is the Krog.
He is the Krog.
He's the original Krog.
The one and only Krog. What a man.
He's a legend.
What a man. And he is a banging guitarist as well.
Yeah, his vocal kind of outshines his guitar sometimes. Because his voice is so powerful, isn't it?
What is more well known for, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
But every Nickelback song's got him on guitar pretty much.
Yeah.
So.
Did you watch the
No,
documentary
not
yet?
seen it yet. I need to watch
it's
it.
so good, mate.
What's
so
it called again? Just remind me.
Love to Hate Nickelback, I believe.
Okay, yeah, that probably sounds
Yeah,
right.
because, they've had their share of
Grief.
bullying.
Bullying?
Yeah, they've been bullied.
I don't think you can bully millionaires, Danny.
No,
I don't think it works like that.
I think you
That's
watch
a
the
bold claim.
documentary. You watch the documentary, and you'll see it's unfairly judged. I mean, as the band's gone on, I'm going on a bit of a Nickelback rant here
That's okay. Carry on.
because I'm a very proud Nickelback fan.
Yeah.
Their latest stuff is a little bit kind of it's not to my taste.
Okay.
Kind of, I think up to The Long Road, maybe.
Yeah.
Every album up to that point was just absolute banger. Loved that band. And then there was a big change when they did Dark Horse.
Once the money started rolling in.
Yeah, which Dark Horse is a cool sounding album, but lyrically it shifted quite a bit for me.
Okay.
And it seemed a little bit more shallow in meaning.
Yeah. I think it's hard to stay true to yourself when you've got millions and millions of pounds in the bank.
Maybe, but on
That's
each
my
album
take.
on each album that they've done since then, there's been a couple of tracks that have kind of stood out, but I've not been able to listen to an entire album and enjoy the whole thing.
Okay.
Which is a shame.
Yeah, that
but
is a
I'm
shame.
still a big Nickelback fan. So
If I ever get to the stage where I've got as much money in the bank as Chad Kroger, feel free to bully me. I won't moan about it. I won't make a documentary.
they've made money out of the documentary, though.
Oh, that's
So,
true, yeah.
Very clever band.
Very clever.
But with his rhythm guitar playing and his backing vocals as well, it's
It's a great choice.
yes.
It's a great choice.
I mean, just those three members alone would be a bit of a power trio.
yeah, say
really.
John Bonham, Nolly, and Chad Kroger.
Yes.
And Danny Dela Cruz.
And we've chucked Danny Dela Cruz on lead,
Wow.
and he said he's going to do some backing vocals as well, which is
Yep.
going to be lovely, combined with the Krog,
So who we got singing in this band then?
the one and only Chris Cornell.
Chris Cornell. The man of the mids.
The only
I can't do it. You can, Danny.
the only thing that I'm kind of, which kind of Chris Cornell is he going for?
Oh, which kind would you want him to go for?
Because his voice has changed so much through the years, from Soundgarden to Audioslave to his solo stuff.
Yeah.
Like each stage, there's so many great parts about his voice.
I mean, it'd be great if you could do all of them. Do you know what I mean?
Would
It
it?
can
Yeah.
take, depending on what's needed in the song,
Yeah.
you can throw you back to those different eras. You've got to remember, we're resurrecting. So if we've got the power to do that,
Yeah.
we've got the power to pick an era.
Yeah. I still feel sad now about the news with Chris.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I remember it being announced and it was like, no.
I know, such a loss. Yeah. Such a loss to the music world and just the world in general, because he seemed like an amazing guy as well.
Definitely. One of my favourite albums is, I believe I mentioned this in the episode,
Maybe he did.
Euphoria Morning. Have you listened to that album, Dan?
Probably not, no.
Mate, get on it. It's
I'll
not
get on
blues.
it.
It's not blues rock. Don't worry.
Thank God.
It's
Bloody
Cornell.
hell.
It's Cornell. But yeah, that the early years, Soundgarden, kind of aggressive, very high kind of vocal, and then when he goes into Audio Slave, it's like it sounds a bit thicker, really, but still like really gritty, isn't it?
What a vocalist.
But combining that vocal with Danny and the Krog, it's going to be amazing.
It's a supergroup, isn't it?
It is a supergroup.
Would you go and see this band?
Yes.
Oh yeah, I would as well.
The same
Without a doubt.
I've said this before. I've already bought tickets.
Here we go. It's pre-ordered. He's bought a T-shirt.
Would you get a T-shirt?
Stop asking me this.
Well, the band name's Graphite, so I imagine
Oh, it's cool. Yeah, it's a cool band name.
cool band name, and I think the artwork might be pretty cool.
Again, I'm not buying a T-shirt without seeing it.
Okay.
Stop making me make these decisions.
Well, the band's going to sound amazing.
Yeah.
There's no way that band can't sound good with those components.
No, that's true.
So you'll swing by the merch stand afterwards, whether it's the merch stand or the dodgy bloke outside the venue selling them like knockoffs.
On the floor, like
Yeah.
laid out. Do they still do that? I've not been to like a gig for a while now.
I haven't been to a gig big enough recently where the knockoff man's interested in creating knockoff.
That's true. I mean, we're going to Miles Kennedy in November, aren't we?
Yeah,
So maybe there'll be some dodgy merch guys outside there.
maybe.
We'll have to see. I wonder if they still exist or they've been banned. There's a market. There'll be one. I'm sure they've not disappeared. Let us know, listeners. Is there still dodgy merch guys outside of venues?
Have you bought merch from a dodgy man?
Please don't tell us anything else you bought from Dodgy Man, please. We don't want to know. Actually, we do. Send me a DM.
Right, amazing episode.
It was great having Danny on. Thank you, dudes, for coming on.
Yeah, what an absolute legend. Very talented young guy and an absolute sweetheart.
And we definitely need to go and see him next time he's around, dude. Be great
Yeah,
to go catch
yeah.
him. The last time I saw him play was at Salutation back in the Chung days.
Well, he was brilliant back then.
He was
And
about
he's
10.
only-
He was about 10.
Yeah, he's only got better since then, mate. So,
Yeah, can't wait.
yeah, we'll be going to see them, and we think you should go and see them as well.
Definitely. And in the meantime, give our podcast a listen. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe. Give us a follow.
5-star review.
Oh, yeah, I love 5-star review. So, yeah, thank you very much.
Indeed. Well, this is the part we don't like, but we'll do it anyway.
Indeed.
So until next time, goodbye for now.
Goodbye.
We're so sorry.